We're Sophia and Cole, a Brit, a Kiwi, and our little adventurer named Sunny. Join us as we transform our suburban house in Kent, the United Kingdom, into a country, cosy family home. Over the last few weeks, we've knocked out a wall to create an open kitchen, dining, and living area. We've ripped up all the tiles and carpet, and with zero experience, laid our own brand new limestone tiles, which has saved us over £6,000. Join us in this video as we share some of our best boot fair finds, explore a new kitchen design, and ask for your help with some of our design choices while we continue our kitchen, dining, and living room renovation.
We just got back from this boot fair that we went to quite a lot last year. I think it's called like Greenfield Mark, Anyway, it's some like guy's name. And they only run it in summer, and it opened last week. But luckily we didn't go last week because we heard it took 2 hours to get in. And it was really busy, but it's so much, we had more success there than we did at Detling. Everything is so cheap there. It's definitely not like, it's predominantly actually like clothes and things. But there are some really good bits, and we've got some really good bits around the house actually from previous ones. So I wanted to show you what we bought, and I'll go in order of how we saw it, and then Cole's going to come on and show you a piece that he purchased for £5. So now, whether or not these are real, I have no idea. But this is a Lavriol. We have a cheese knife set. They're not like super heavy, but the little butterfly, so the little bumblebee. So this is a carving knife, like serving set. They're quite light, but they look really cute. A spoon, a carving fork, and a knife. I don't think they're real, but they look really nice. And certainly for £4, perfect. Always good to have certain bits around the house. What did I see next? Oh, I think actually what we saw next was cheapings from the same store. So, as you know, I'm obsessed with buying books, apparently, just for like decoration. And there was one lady there that had a really nice stand. So we purchased this set of books. There are 7 there. They're all leather bound. And they all have this amazing ivy like embellishment or like motif on them, which I think just looks so nice. And we just use them to kind of like stack around books. We've got the bookshelf. We need to, you know, they just kind of look cool around. You can kind of really never have to. And I love these ones. Have got like a kind of gold on the edge of the pages, which is really special. But yeah, they were going to be 3 each or the whole lot for £1. So obviously went for the whole lot. I think we've got little things in here. It was presented to somebody on the 1st of January 1912. Just like really sweet. I mean, I don't read them, but they're really cute. So they'll be stacked around. And in the same stall, we also saw this is just like an old piece of, I think, like terracotta pipe, I suppose, with a candle kind of stand in it. It just looks super weathered, but it was £3, and we can put this really anywhere. I think it would actually look really cool in the stairway, but outside or inside. But it was just so funny. Cole and I both laughed our head off because it's a pretty like low key. You know, like if I had a load of clothes of something I wanted to sell, I'd just go there. It's not like it's a fancy fair. And this particular stand was a little bit out of place there because she had a lot of quite expensive stuff. Not this, obviously. And she was like, oh, it's £3. And then we were a bit like, oh, we just weren't even bothered by it. So we were a bit like, oh, okay. And then she was like, it's from the outside of the chateau. I'm like, yeah, sure it is. But that's what we'll say. People come over, this piece of terracotta pipe is from the outside of the French chateau. And then Cole went off to purchase this display table thing, which I'll let him show you. But we were looking for some artworks. As you know, we didn't get what we wanted at Detling Fair. So we found this, which is a watercolour. It's an original, we think, from 1992. It's really pretty. Just like a boat scene. It's a little bit like Moat Park in Maidstone, but I doubt it is. And then next to it, also just the gold frame as well, it's like our vibe. Next to it was this piece, which is a train. With the guy that sold it to us said that when he bought it, he thought this was the Flying Scotsman, but it's not. It's the Flying Scotch or something different anyway. But just really cool. I mean, not just with this frame, but we can easily get another gold frame for it. And I was like, it was kind of towards the end, and I was like, oh, I wonder how much it is. Anyway, he said he'd do both for £5. So we were like, sold. And again, I think, oh, this says it's Simon Robinson Handcraft picture frames. Oh, it's just a frame, I don't know what that is. A. Woolridge, apparently, is the artist on this, but just really cool. So both of those for £5. And then I quite liked this plate. Just need some more serving plates. So this plate's from Italy somewhere, super cracked glaze. That was £1. The guy wanted to get rid of it, so that was great. And then we've been looking for some bookshelves for Sonny's room to display his books, and I was just going to buy the IKEA ones that are like £15, and they're basically this, but they're a bit longer, they're 70 centimetres. But this guy sold us both for £2, so Cole's going to fix them up. We're going to attach them to the wall. I just want a place. He's been bought and gifted some amazing, really special books. And I want a place that they can be that isn't like just the day-to-day stuff, because he's quite good, but he does sometimes rip a page when he folds it. So I'll let Cole show you the table that he bought, the display piece. But yeah, they were our goods. I actually realised that I hadn't shown you these. So after Easter, there was a boot fair near my mum and dad's house, and we just drove past it and we're like, we'll pull in and have a look. And it was not very good, we would not go back. But we managed to get, these are not Spode, but kind of similar. Apparently they're Wedgwood, woodland, genuine hand engraving. So 3 very similar to like a Spode vibe. 3 of these gorgeous wooden bowls, so just good for like snacks and nibs. And then if they are Wedgwood, then brilliant. And matching pattern, same thing, the Wedgwood, bigger plate. But they're really nice china. I mean, they've got some cracks and things. You obviously can't put these in the dishwasher. But just really nice. So you can see we're starting to like get like quite a cool little mix and matchy situation with plates. But as we left today, we both said no more plates, no more books. The only thing we didn't get, we were in the market for some wall sconces, some gold wall sconces. Didn't have those, unfortunately, but next time.
Alrighty, it's grout time. So I've got some water, 1.6 litres of water, the grout. Go with the same brand that I've been using the whole time pretty much, this Rocketex. This is beige, this colour. This was recommended by the place that supplied the tiles. And then I've got this thing which is apparently called a float, which I use to apply it. So let's get started. I'm a little bit nervous. I have sealed it 3 times, but obviously there's still that element of, have I done it properly, and is this gonna stain the tile? Hopefully it won't. I just realized my last video, it wasn't recording, which is annoying. But this is the texture that I've got here. It's like quite firm. I mean, I haven't done much research on grouting, so I'm not too sure if that's correct, but it seems to be going in okay. I'll show you what I'm doing. So I'm basically just forcing it in there, pushing it in as far as I can. Initially not worrying too much about how it looks. And then I just kind of swipe through. Remove what I can off the tile. That's pretty much my rhythm at the moment. And then after about 20 minutes, it says that you can go across with a wet cloth and tidy up what's left on the tile. Grout has a 45-minute pot life, and I think I'm coming to the end of it because it's getting quite firm and a bit harder to work with. Alright, so all the grout is in, and I'm just going around with a damp cloth to try and wipe up any excess. I've just put the final coat of sealer on. So once that's all dry, we can start bringing some stuff back in here. Although we've still got quite a bit of work to do on the walls, so we won't be bringing too much in. But Soph did mention that when we were at the boot fair, I got a table. I mean, it's not exactly a table, it's like a display thing. I think it's awesome. Now, the reason I got this is I generally will try and find something random each time we go, and I enjoy spending a little bit of time doing it up and then listing it on eBay at £1 reserve and just seeing what happens. I never go into it expecting to make money or anything. I always hope to get my money back, but it's just a fun thing that I really enjoy doing. So this is sort of a kidney shape. Obviously got 3 layers. It's just to apply, but I think once I give these quicksand, restain, and then I'll probably like hard wax oil them just to protect them, I think they'll come up really nicely. I'm not too sure why the bottom one is darker. Perhaps someone just thought that looked cool. Maybe that wasn't even on the bottom, it could have been on the top. These can go anywhere in any order, these shelves. But these are actually solid brass. And these are brass as well. I've just rubbed a little bit off there to sort of see what was underneath, because I thought it might have been, it could have been anything. It could have been any kind of metal, but these are brass as well. So this part at the top is solid, and then these are hollow brass rods. So I might polish them up a little bit, but some people like that kind of patinaed look, so I don't know. But while I wait for the floor to dry, I might get started on this, then we'll get it listed on eBay and I'll keep you updated with the results. Oh, obviously need to mention, cost me a £5, so pretty stoked with that.
So this has taken me a while to film because the kitchen is an absolute mess at the moment. I've just wiped it, but literally there is so much plaster, limestone tile dust in the air. It's just insane to try and keep on top of. But I wanted to film a video talking about what we're actually going to do in this kitchen. But like I've said, it's very difficult to do that when it's a mess, but I hope you won't judge me, basically. So the wall's down, the floor is looking amazing. You can see the back bit here has been grouted. This bit hasn't been yet. Cole's doing an amazing job. It just looks so nice. The light comes in and it heats it up. It's really lovely. But in terms of the kitchen, we have some decisions to make. We have these brown square tiles and then these long kind of gold ones everywhere. I'm going to just move it around because I don't want the sun in your face. They're here. When we first moved in, the walls were quite dirty and we were really scrubbing them, and with the like dampness of scrubbing, lots of the wallpaper came off anyway, so that's why we've got this, like, I actually don't mind it. It looks quite rustic, like a vintage kind of look with the plaster, but it's just where it's come off the walls. So we know we need to keep our fridge here. We've really debated whether or not we should just get a smaller fridge, but because we are not really a big house, we're only 3 people, we like a big fridge. I really like to have a big fridge, so this needs to stay. So what we're thinking is we will have kind of built-in paneling. We'll move this much more into the middle of the room. We will have built-in pantry, and we'll have it panelled on each side and then along the top, so it'll look like a kind of whole built-in unit. We're waiting for the door samples from DIY Kitchens to come, so that we can pick whether we go like a darker green or more of a sage green. You know, we had the IKEA console as well, and they can also do a built-in, but there's just some real key differences in terms of, like, the DIY Kitchens are real wood, the inners are an oak, the inners of IKEA are obviously like white MDF. IKEA Kitchens are amazing, you can customise everything, but you can't get like the cool paneling style, and the DIY Kitchen ones also have like a really nice wine rack vibe you can add in, so that's really cool. So I think that bit's done. This bit's looking like, if we go with DIY Kitchens, which is like the best option, about two and a half grand to have this whole built-in pantry piece. But this is really critical because we're going to remove all of the top cabinetry in here. So this whole thing is going to go here.
This is the kind of key side at the moment in terms of storage that we've got. So we've spoken about this before, we absolutely need to get rid of the sink. It is awful in terms of like just looking so dirty. The black is just not a vibe. But mostly this layout will stay, so we'll get rid of all of these tiles. That view just looks so beautiful. That's why one of the things we loved about this house so much when we first came to visit. We're waiting to get, this is already an integrated dishwasher, we're waiting to know which doors we're going to have so that we can obviously pop the panel over that. So that will all be in. The dishwasher will be there. We're going to have like a Belfast kind of butler sink, so that'll be kind of cut under here. It'll be one of those really lovely white enamel ones, and we'll go with a nice brass tap. So down here will be storage, but it'll also be obviously be a little bit lower because those sinks kind of sit like there, where it's sunken. But in terms of layout, very, very similar. We will obviously look to change this top again because it's dark, you just see everything. So we will get rid of all of these tiles. We're just debating at the moment whether to do a panel or like a stone. I'd love a stone wall vibe, like I really, really want a stone wall vibe, but you have to be really careful. They can look a little bit awful, or they can look incredible. There's like not much middle ground, and I just don't know with how much space we've got, and also, you know, being able to wipe it. I don't know if it's the right kitchen for it, and one day we'll buy an amazing, you know, old house in the Cotswolds and it'll already have a stone wall. Anyway, but the windowsill will stay. We'll get a different splashback. These top cabinets, like I said, will be gone. So what we're going to look to do here is put a really nice range hood in, obviously get rid of all the green, and then do a couple of shelves. And then the key difference that we're looking at is the oven here will become, we're going to integrate the oven, so it'll be a freestanding oven with a hob. So it means we can really get rid of this, which was kind of like absolutely part and key of knocking the wall through. So we don't want this big blocky, you know, oven, as nice as it is to have those two ovens. So this bit will actually be all open. This will be an island. So we'll have an island that kind of comes out here that will seat hopefully 2 people. We'll have cupboards and cabinetry all underneath, so for extra storage. So yeah, you can imagine this is all clear. This part is all really nice, some type of green, and we're looking at just a wooden top because it's the best from a budget point of view. We have got some amazing marble samples, and we would love to do it, or quartz, they're not marble, but it adds quite a lot onto the kitchen. And you know, we're not necessarily looking to invest all of our money into this house. We just want to give it a bit of an upgrade. Yeah, so what I think we might do is wait for the doors to arrive. We're probably going to go yes with the DIY kitchens and then build the built out. We need to pull the wall, all of the wallpaper off, plaster, decide if we want to do paneling or stone, like lots of decisions to make basically. But what I'm so excited about is the fact that this area here is just getting better every day. So if you look this way, the house is kind of okay. If you look that way, lots of decisions to be made.
So I spent about 45 minutes staining and oiling the shelves and polishing the brass, and then I listed it on eBay at £1 reserve. So it sat with no bids, no action really for the first 3.5 days. I did a 5-day auction, but it has just had a bit of traction. You can see it's around £31 now with 18 hours to go. So I'll show you the last minute of the auction later in this video and we'll see where it lands, but £30 is not too shabby, to be honest. Today I am making a start on the kitchen tiles. So you can see I've started pulling them up here. Basically, we do think at some point we are going to rip out a majority of the kitchen. So what I'm going to do is just basically tile up to where that bucket is, because I don't want to pull out the dishwasher and stuff just yet. So once that part of the kitchen comes out, then I'll continue the tiling. But we're just going to pull up all these tiles here. So I'll probably do another 4 or 5 rows as far as I can go up to the cabinetry. And then I'll leave some tiling until the rest of that cabinetry has been pulled out. for another week and it's not very full. So I thought maybe it's time to get rid of these tiles. They need to come off. I've kind of been delaying it, but I think now is the time for them to go. So this gold shimmery number here, it's like glass with sort of gold behind it. I'm pretty sure that's from the 90s. So I think this kitchen was redone in the 90s, so it's probably due for an upgrade. These tiles here are really interesting. They look dirty, they look oily because they're in a kitchen, but they're actually clean and they're in really good condition. That's just the way they're meant to look. So yeah, it's kind of a very interesting tile choice for a kitchen. It just constantly makes the room look quite dirty and dark. So really excited to get rid of those. Obviously once they're gone, the wall's not going to look great either, but we will get around to putting something else up in the next couple of months. But yeah, I'm going to get started and we'll see what it looks like. Hey friends, just a quick update. Done a bit of painting. Done 2 coats so far. Obviously this area here is where the paneling will go for the banquette, so I haven't bothered painting that. But it's looking pretty good. This is Schoolhouse White by Farrow & Ball. It's pretty dark in here at the moment, so it's quite hard to see. But it's definitely looking a lot better than it was. So I am now about to tackle these skylights. I haven't done the inside yet. There's a lot of, I'm guessing it's fly poop. So I'm going to give that a scrub first with some sugar soap. And then I'm going to attempt to stand on this ladder and reach up there and see how I go. And we definitely need to get those cleaned as well.
So I just wanted to show you the quartz samples that we ordered from DIY Kitchens. They're all different thicknesses, but don't worry too much because on that website you can decide what thickness you want. These are just samples. Now, there's a couple of clear favourites that we've got, and especially when you look against the limestone tile, some of these just really, really pop. So this one is Luso. Unfortunately, it looks a little bit like it's covered in, like rust. It's not really the vibe. So we both said no to that one. This is the one that we both thought we would love the most, which is a cloudy marble. But as soon as you put it against the limestone, it just looks really grey, like very boring. This Calcutta Dusk is really nice, but it almost looks, because it's like kind of goldy, it almost looks like too fake. This one I love so much. Maybe I'm swayed by the fact that it's so thick, but this is Calcutta Golden,
natural quartz. And when you put it against, like, there's just something about the dark that goes through it that really matches the floor, and it's got these little flecks of something special there, but it doesn't look. But anyway, this adds. How much does it add to have the quartz on DIY kitchens?
Sorry?
How much does it add to add the quartz top on DIY kitchens? Like an extra.
2,000.
Yeah, like an extra $2,000. Because you've got the top of the kitchen plus the top of the island, which I don't know. I mean, it doesn't sound like loads on its own, but when you think about it with everything else that you need for the kitchen, the other alternative that we're looking at is like a wooden top, which you have to be more careful with, because I love to put hot things on places they shouldn't and burn things and ruin everything. There was when our last rental, I left my straighteners on the carpet and made a big burn hole, like that kind of stuff I do all the time. So Cole was like, we can't have wood because you will burn it, which is why we like the look of this. But it's basically like you save $2,000 almost, because it's not just the purchase of the material of this, you have to have it properly installed. I'm just stroking it like I'm obsessed with it. I really like it. Anyway, in the next house we might do something like that.
I thought I'd just give you a little Nook update. I'm about to do some measuring up for the timber. I'm going to order that so it arrives over the weekend and then I can get started. Hopefully it'll only take me a day to get it all installed, not including painting. So we're going to run from that wall all the way across to this wall, and I'm going to go halfway across here, so it'll go just to the middle of the window. So the seating will be like an L shape, and the panelling is going to come, I think, up to around about here, and it'll be sort of V-groove, so it'll have the lines in it, and then we will have, I'm not sure whether we'll have a picture rail which sort of comes out so far so you can sort of put pictures on it, or whether we'll just go with the dado rail. Haven't quite decided on that yet. We've picked the paint colour, which is a Faro and Ball. I'm not going to try and pronounce that. It's a red one, but it looks quite brown. I'll show you the sample on the wall. I'll do a close-up of that so you can see what it's called. So the panelling and the seating will all be the same Faro and Ball colour, and we'll make use of the storage underneath as well by having, so the part that you sit on will lift up with some hinges, so there'll be plenty of storage under there. So that's awesome, because you can never have enough storage, especially with a young kid who has a lot of toys. Soph really wants to get some custom cushions made for the seating, proving to be quite expensive. She wants it made in the same material that we are getting the seat for the oak chairs. She wants the same material. That's not the expensive part. The expensive part's actually getting them made. So, well, I burnt nearly fluid. So yeah, we're just kind of exploring what we might do there. But I think that's pretty much it for that. This is our tabletop. It is a door, but we use it as a tabletop. So that will sit down nicely here. So yeah, I'm excited to get started. So I'll get measuring and get the order underway. So that is the paint colour there. And that is it on the bottom. Yes, that is the one. So it's brown with some kind of red coming through. I think that one was a little green paint, that one. Also quite nice, but I think this one has more of a kind of terracotta vibe, which we like. Also, for those of you wondering, yes, these are Crocs, and I am wearing them live on YouTube. So go back a year or so ago, I would not be seen dead wearing these things, especially on someone's TV or mobile device. But my friends think they're awesome. All my mates back in New Zealand, they've all got them, and they've got those things that you stick in the holes and all that sort of stuff, like really vibing the Croc. So my wife got me a pair, and look, I haven't looked back since. They're so handy. They are super comfortable. When they get dirty, you can just throw them in the washing machine and they come out like brand new. You know, they might not be attractive, but you cannot mock the Croc until you've tried it. That's what I've learned. So do yourself a favour and grab a pair. They come in all colours, and if you want to make them prettier, there's options.
Right, so we're really quite stuck at the moment with the fabric for the blind in the dining room. We've been watching so many interior design videos that I'm like a bit doubting myself. So I'm going to just show you. It's not finished, obviously, nowhere near. But what you can probably see, hopefully here, is that we've got this schoolhouse white on the top that is colour drenched for the ceiling. And then you see that little bit of brown, that is where the banquette seating is going to be. So that is, I think it's called Intrusion Red by Farrow and Ball. Obviously, most of the house is going to have green elements. I found an amazing Sanderson by John Lewis, or not the way around, John Lewis, but I don't know what it is. Green stripy cushion, that's like my inspo for the green. So what I think I need to do based on watching these videos is try and bring a brown and green into all of the soft furnishings. And I also think this white is like, it's a little bit too white, but we're not changing it. It is the white we're going to go with. So I would have gone, the fabric that I really wanted to go for, I'm now second guessing because it's got no brown in it, like a browny red. So I can't tell you how many samples of fabric I've purchased. Well, I haven't purchased. You generally don't pay for the samples, but when you go to the volumes that I've got, you pay for shipping. So maybe I spent like £6 on samples. So I'm going to show you what we're deciding between, but I guess the kind of tick boxes are that it's really cozy, very country. We are trying to keep these rooms that we've now made into one huge room kind of quite connected, but we just don't know what to do. So let me show you. So what I've got through the back there, the check tartan, this is what's going to be on the seat covers. So we're going to have our actual dining chair covers, seat pads in this, and then we've got a bench seat we're creating in this tartan. So this is the fabric that I was like absolutely sure I wanted, and I love it still. It's this is a John Lewis everyday fabric. It's really, really affordable. I think it's like £25 a metre, and it's just so pretty. But when you put it up against the white, I don't know, it's kind of a bit like wishy-washy, especially because there's so much sunlight that comes through there. And again, it doesn't really tie into the brown, but it's so cute and like non-offensive. I won't go through all of them like that, but just want to show that's one that we're really... I love this one so much, like super heritage, but Cole doesn't like it, so unfortunately that one's out. I'll go to this one. We really like this, but it's got no green in it, so I feel like we're going, and when you look at the view out the window, like I think that's a bit like almost lost, because it just looks like the leaves of because the Roman blind is going to sit up there, so you will always see it. It's not like, only when you pull it down will you see it. We're going to have it attached quite high up to the ceiling, so it's always going to be like a slither of it up the top. And I also really like this one, but that one's got a lot of blue in it, and also just on the white just gets lost on that wall. So this one we're really not expecting to like, but it's actually Cole's pick, and I can see why. It looks a bit bluey in this light, but it's not, it's green. And it has got the perfect kind of red that we're going for. It's got these darker browns, this purple, just brings in like a few other colours. And when you put it against this is the red that we're going to be, that's just probably with bad light there, this one's better. This is the colour that all the banquette seating is going to be, and there's only one coat, so it will be darker. It really pulls in like the tones. But when you hold it up, and I'll just do that like I was doing before, hang on. It's quite dark. And it's a really big window. It's like 250 centimetres wide. But this is also this is only £23 a metre as well. This is from Terry's Fabric. This is a place my mum always gets her fabric from and recommended to us. We've got the fabric from other blinds there before. And you can get it hung with like a thick, it's called like intertwined. So it hangs really beautifully. So we were looking at doing that, but it's a bit dark, but is it like just kind of what you need to like break up that ceiling? And then it does give us the green and the red, kind of dark reddy brown that we're trying to tie in. I don't know, this is not what I would normally go for, but With the study, I was going to go for like a really light, wishy-washy kind of one, just to keep it neutral. And I think maybe I'd watch some of these interior design videos then, and I was like, no, we just go something much more bold, and I love it. So I'm sure I will. It's just a blind that fits that window is like, without like baseline, you're spending like £500. The fabric alone's 400, then getting it made is 100, then getting it made is about 300-400. My mum will hopefully be able to help, but it's just a big expense and you want to be kind of sure. But I do feel like this will tile the colours in, and it might like open the colour scheme up for us with like the cushions and the soft furnishings. And it does look really nice with the tartan, like pulls the right colours in. Can you help us? Can you let us know which one you think? We're basically between the John Lewis and between these two. Terry's or John? Let us know in the comments.
So the auction just finished and it has sold for a grand total of £83.16. So less the fees, I think that's around £79. I paid £5 for it, so £74 profit. That's pretty good, and that was much better than we were expecting. So stoked with that. That will go towards something for the kitchen, no doubt. But a nice little way to make a little bit of pocket money. I hope you enjoyed that one. We will wrap this video up here, but we just wanted to say thank you so much for watching our content. We have really appreciated all the kind comments and engagement. It's just awesome. In the next video, we'll hopefully have the dining nook and chairs completed, and we really look forward to sharing that space with you. And we would obviously love any feedback and help with the fabric choices. In the meantime, have a great week, and we'll see you next weekend. Cheers.
Who's that, Sonny? Who's that one? Dinner? Spencer?